It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Eduardo! Hey, man, it happened, bro. It's crazy. I know. It'll be okay. It'll be okay, man. Just calm down. He's still alive. He's fine. All right. Hey! Anyway, this is the afterthought for the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll go over the fighters going into the fight, during the fight, and then after the fight. We'll start with the winner. It's Floyd Mayweather, in case you didn't notice. And if you didn't notice, I don't know why you're here checking this out. Anyway, you had Mayweather coming into this fight. He was 47-0, 26 knockouts, legacy. Everybody's saying he's been ducking Pacquiao for years. You know, you saw the specials. I know you watched them. And you got in there and this is the fight he had to take. I mean, he's taken on Canelo Alvarez. He took on, the Mosleys, the De La Hoyas, the Hatton. He took on the Cottos, all at their original weights, all at their actual fighting weights. Didn't duck anybody, no matter what they're saying. So it's come down. He's got to fight Pacquiao now, right? After his last fight, they said he's got to fight Pacquiao. It's a must-have fight for him. And, people are saying, he's 38 years old. They always make a big thing about age. And then, now they're, whenever it goes against them, they don't talk about that so much. But he's older. He's lost a step. Does he still have it anymore? His footwork isn't as fast as it used to be. He's taken way more punishment from Maidana and all that. So you start thinking about that and you're putting it in your head. But you ignore the little things on the side where Floyd is like, I fight and I'm making these fights interesting for the fans. There shouldn't have been 2 Maidana fights, but he did that and got paid well for it. He made like $80 million on the 2 fights. So kudos to him. But once again, this is a fight that he must have and he must win in order to keep his legacy because so much is based on that oath. Going over to Manny Pacquiao, we know he was 57-5-2 going into the fight. He had it's been 2 years removed from that violent knockout that he had suffered from Marquez. So he had fought a couple fights, didn't fight any like massive names, but he won. And he's built up, and after his last fight, he knocked the old dude down. Was it Algieri? I don't know what his name was. Anyway, knocked him down like 6 times in the fight, and he dominated him. And, people are like, hey, this is the guy that needs to fight. And you're looking at Pacquiao going into that fight. He's got nothing to lose. He's got everything to gain. It's the most money he'll ever make, and quite possibly close to probably what he's made over his career. So in one fight. So he wants this fight made now. Didn't want it 5 years ago, but now he wants it made. And he calls Mayweather out. His legacy, to his fans, because of his personality and how nice he is, his legacy is already cemented. There's nothing there that you can really take away from. If he loses badly, like if he was to get knocked out, well then, yeah, that might harm his legacy. But overall, his legacy is not really going to be affected that bad if he were to lose this fight. Going into the fight, a couple things happened. One, Pacquiao actually got the gloves that he wanted, the Cleto Riaz gloves. And the Riaz gloves are a puncher's glove. They're a little more solid. They say they break down a little more in fights, but I mean, if you had a glove that broke down like that, why would you even produce that? That seemed like a bad product. Anyway, you can tend to feel the punches a little bit more, as they try to say with those gloves. Okay. They're a puncher's glove. Well, Mayweather's not a puncher, so he doesn't need them anyway. Pacquiao takes them. Another one was this shoulder thing now that's all of a sudden come up. You're talking about his shoulder, and they're not letting him take the shot, because he didn't put it in the paperwork and all that stuff. Whatever. I almost seem to think that might be more of an excuse. Anyway, we get to the fight, right? The fight that we've all been waiting for all these years. Right, Eduardo? Quit crying, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. It'll be all right. Anyway, Okay, I'm back. Anyway, for the 48th time in a row. They're coming into the ring. You see the confidence in Mayweather. Pacquiao looks happy to be there. They get in the ring. All the formalities, whatever, are done. Jamie Foxx sang an okay rendition of the national anthem. There was like 85 people that sung Pacquiao's anthem. That was kind of cool. Fight starts. Bells rang. They're going at it. And it's that feel-out process. And you can already see Mayweather establishing that jab, keeping that distance, sneaking those straight right hands in, and occasionally firing a shot down, touch the body for the first 3 rounds. Coming that 4th round, I thought was probably Manny's best round of the fight, where Manny was actually able to get off a couple combinations, get inside, try to do some work. Mayweather, being the smart fighter that he is, will tie him up every time it gets close, as long as it's not violently blatant. And Pacquiao was ducking his head, and anytime you're looking straight at the ground, that's illegal too, but yeah, people don't talk about that either. Anyway, 4th round, I would have given to Pacquiao all day, because he threw a nice left, looked like it might have caught Floyd, or Floyd was a bit off balance when he got hit, because a lot of Pacquiao's knockdowns are because the opponent is off balance. And he backed up a little bit into the ropes. Pacquiao firing off shots. At the end of that, I had 3 rounds to 1 for Mayweather. I thought Mayweather took the next round. The 5th came out, put a little more stank on his punches a little bit there, establishing that jab, firing it out there, negating Pacquiao's jab itself, and negating that right hook. When people try to use the excuse, oh, he had a bad shoulder or anything like that, the hook is a much shorter punch than a jab is. And if some dude is putting leather in your eye, you tend not to throw that jab or the hook, because one, you got to get in closer. Well, to get in closer means you're going to get hit. And every time Pacquiao tried to get in to throw those hooks, Mayweather was already out. And to say he never threw those hooks is a lie, because he did throw some right hooks in there. So I had the 5th round to Mayweather as 4-1. 6th round, Pacquiao got off some nice hooks. Pacquiao worked the ring, but you can see the distance. You can already see the mood changing in the fight to where he's probably not going to knock Mayweather out now. He's probably going to go the distance. You're already having these thoughts and feelings in the fight. And I had Manny winning the 6th round as well. So that was 4-2. And I was like, oh, kind of close. I was like, a flash knockdown here, the fight's going to be tied. Those kind of things start coming into play. 7th and 8th round, I had solid for Floyd. Again, every time you would start seeing this, and people ignore this way too much, but those straight right hands from Floyd were landing, and they were landing very accurately. When you looked at the punch totals, that showed it to you. He was touching the body. Of course they're going to say, oh, he's hitting him low. It was on the belt line. That's not a low punch. It was legit. There was never really any warnings about keeping his hands up, for low blows. Manny doesn't like to get hit to the body. His first 2 knockouts, those were pretty much body shots. As it goes in the 9th round, that Pacquiao did well in the 9th round. And he did decent in the 10th as well, but not enough to win the round. So I actually had Pacquiao winning 3 of the first 9 rounds, but it's still 6-3 edge, And so that was 87-84. But the 11th and 12th rounds were all Mayweather. And all the judges saw it that way too. On the scorecards, they were unanimous in those. So you see that. They go through everything. End of the fight. And Mayweather controlled it solidly. If somebody honestly thought Pacquiao won that fight, take your Pacquiao glasses off and watch the fight again. And really pay attention to what Mayweather's doing whenever they get close or get near or any of that stuff. And then the other thing I want you to do is smack your head into the wall 2 or 3 times too. Just to kind of rally your brain, get it, so you get focused on the fight, okay? Actually watch the fight for what it is, and that's a fight. Well, actually, it's a boxing match, and we saw a master boxer do what he does, and he wins the unanimous decision. No question about it. The 118 to 110 was a much closer score than I would have had with the 116 114, because the 116 112, I don't think the fight was that close. I think they were getting kind of just looking for anything. Maybe they gave him the 9th and 10th rounds, to try and make the fight a little closer than what it was, but it was definitely a unanimous decision. Okay, the after fight, or the afterthought. You have Mayweather now, who's at 48-0, saying he's going to fight one more time in September. And when you look at the possible opponents, Thurman is up there, and you have Amir Khan, and maybe Bradley, but I don't know why you would even do that. I don't know why you would mess with Thurman either, because that dude is big. Anyway, so you see it. There are a couple options out there. Me personally, I think it's going to be Amir Khan that he will fight, because that's going to be a good money fight. People will pay to see that. People in England might not pay to see it because they don't think Khan's deserving of that kind of fight. But at the same time, why not? Why not see him go in there and get a good payday and get set for life kind of deal against Mayweather in his last fight? I think Mayweather would go that route because that's the greatest chance of him actually ending his career on a knockout. That'd be a pretty good way to go out, right? 49-0, you tie Marciano's record, and you're fine with that. What do you think? Yeah, I think so too. So then you go over to Manny Pacquiao, the afterthought. It's another loss on his record. He's 57-6 now and 2. And does it tarnish his legacy? Well, you really can't say he's the greatest fighter ever now, can you? You can't say he's the greatest fighter of his time, because Pacquiao got thoroughly handed to by Mayweather. Mayweather has established himself as the best fighter in this time period. Overall, I think overall, in the last 15 years, Mayweather is the #1 fighter. So where does Manny go from here? Does he do a rematch again with Bradley? That trilogy thing? To beat up Bradley again? To kind of settle everything? He kind of squashes the last fight. Does he try a rematch against Marquez? Does Marquez want that? Or what are we already starting to see? We're seeing the pining and the, well, I thought I won the fight. That's not a cool way to go, is it? When you know you lost. I had a bum shoulder and I couldn't throw, but I didn't tell anybody. I was already injured. Fight, to try and get the rematch with Mayweather to get beat up again. But he's going to make that money. He knows he wants that money. He's running for Congress. He needs the money. So I think he's going to try to get a rematch with Floyd. Floyd's not going to give it to him because he beat him up. He won soundly. It wasn't close. And for those of you that want to say that Floyd ran, well, you got to look at it this way. It's called boxing. It's not called standing there and punching dude in the face. That's not what it is. It's boxing. And you saw Floyd give a PhD doctorate level class on boxing to Manny. And you saw that Manny and Freddie did not have a plan B or a plan C, whereas Mayweather said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to take this away from you, take that away from you. That's what Mayweather does. That's what Mayweather's always done. He takes away your best stuff. And that's what happened with Manny. So with Manny, I see him fighting a couple of the lower fighters. If he's going to do another Marquez, maybe he'll try to get another Bradley shot there, or something along those lines. But really, he could retire now. I mean, what more does he have to prove? What more does he have to do? They wanted the fight. We gave him the fight, or Floyd gave him the fight. I didn't give him any. And that's how it ended. So that's my take on the going into the fight, after the fight, and done with that. And obviously, in the beginning with Floyd, everything was riding on this fight. If he loses, people are going to slam him till the end of time. He wins. Are you giving him credit now? Are you finally going to give him credit for doing it, or are you going to hang on to the should have fought him 5 years ago? Well, he'd have been 5 years younger too, and he was a lot faster then too. Think about that for a second. All right, anyway, Guardo, stop crying, man. I know you don't want to hear this stuff. quiet, man. Anyway, this is Big Ragu, that's Eduardo, and we are out.